Welcome colleagues, this is a short video to introduce you to UCT's policy for the responsible conduct of research, also known as the RCR policy. In this video, we aim to raise awareness about UCT's policy for the responsible conduct of research, which we will call the RCR policy throughout, to outline the principles upon which the policy is based, to go through a few key aspects of the policy, and to share some resources with you. These resources are aimed to strengthen and reward responsible research practice at UCT and to grow an environment in which the responsible conduct of research can flourish. The policy went through a rigorous and consultative approval route. It was first reviewed by the Ethics and Research Committee in October 2019, following which committee members were asked to consult with their faculties in order to ensure that there was awareness of the proposed changes and to offer colleagues an opportunity to have input on the revisions. The revisions happened in an iterative manner throughout the rest of 2019 and into 2020. The revised policy went to the University Research Committee in May 2020, where it received approval. Lastly, it was escalated to the Senate Executive Committee and Senate in November 2020, where it was ultimately approved. The policy that is in place today is the one which received approval in November 2020. The first important point to note is to whom this policy applies. It applies to all who present their research as affiliated to UCT. This includes teaching staff, researchers and other staff members of UCT, as well as students, postdoctoral fellows and research associates, honorary research associates, visiting and emeritus scholars, UCT staff on sabbatical leave or on leave without remuneration, and adjunct staff. For the rest of this video, we will use the phrase UCT community to refer to all those people to whom this policy applies. Another important point to make before we move on is to understand the definition of the responsible conduct of research. RCR is the practice of scientific or scholarly inquiry with integrity. It includes awareness and application of established professional norms and ethical principles in the performance of all activities related to research. The definition the Office of Research Integrity uses in training programs is the use of honest and verifiable methods in proposing, performing, and analyzing research, reporting research results with particular attention to adherence to domain-specific accepted norms and standards, translating output to meaningful changes, for example, policy change, technology transfer, and community impact, and following commonly accepted rules, regulations, and professional codes. It's also really important to note that disciplines may have specific guidelines in place for research integrity, and you should be aware of those too. The RCR policy contains the following principles. These principles guided the development and will guide the implementation of the policy. In keeping with the emphasis on excellence in research, UCT has a framework of RCR policies that govern research at the university, all of which are designed to promote ethical research conduct, integrity in research and related relationships, and to provide procedures to guide decision makers or persons who wish to raise concerns. Some of these policies include the Authorship Practices Policy, Conflicts of Interest, Research Misconduct, Research Data Management, and Whistleblowing policies, to name just a small sample. For a full list of policies and the relevant links, please visit the Office of Research Integrity website. The UCT community should promote RCR, participate in relevant professional development and training to maintain currency of knowledge, treat fellow researchers fairly and with respect, and promptly raise concerns regarding questionable research practices by themselves or others. The promotion of responsible research is an ongoing and deliberative process in which researchers reflect and discuss in a collegial manner the challenges of responsibility and meeting ethical benchmarks. Research involving human participants or animal use for research or teaching must undergo ethics review according to faculty-specific guidelines that comply with UCT and relevant applicable external policy norms and standards. Research involving biohazards or risks to the environment must be approved according to the relevant faculty and institutional biosafety committee requirements. Research involving Indigenous knowledge systems and South African natural living resources, including bioprospecting, must comply with relevant legislation. Such research may also require ethics approval as per the relevant faculty ethics committee requirements. Researchers conducting research with or in communities should ensure that they engage communities timeously, appropriately, and adequately for the duration of the study. Researchers are obliged to provide adequate and appropriate feedback to communities. UCT-affiliated researchers conducting research with community partners or in other countries are responsible for ensuring that such research is carried out in accordance with UCT policy. In situations where lesser standards are accepted, UCT-affiliated researchers are nevertheless expected to uphold UCT policy. Local requirements for ethical review and approval of research must also be respected. Here are a few important points on the content of the policy. When it comes to ethics review and approval, faculties must develop the means to document these processes, track applications and approval decisions, and monitor quality assurance of their ethics review and approval processes. Supervisors are responsible for ensuring that ethics approval of student projects is obtained, if required, and that this requirement and approval is adequately documented prior to data collection. For research involving secondary de-identified or coded datasets, where the researcher does not have access to identifying information, research on information in the public domain, if legally compliant with applicable privacy legislation, and observational research in public spaces where individuals do not generally have an expectation of privacy, generally does not require research ethics approval. However, some social media research has ethical implications that require researchers to act responsibly and seek advice from an REC if necessary. 3 committees, the Senate Ethics in Research Committee, or the EIRC, the Senate Animal Ethics Committee, or the SAEC, and the Institutional Biosafety Committee, or the IBC, make and implement policy regarding research ethics, compliance, and related matters for research that involves human participants, animal use, or biological safety and security. Each faculty has an REC, Research Ethics Committee, and where appropriate, an AEC, Animal Ethics Committee, and FBC, or Faculty Biosafety Committee, which review research proposals and/or ensure adequate deliberation to ensure compliance with the highest ethical and safety standards. In some instances, review by a centralized UCT REC may be required. Where research does not involve human participants or animal use, it must also comply with ethical standards and legislation, especially those that govern the particular discipline or field, in addition to other UCT research policies. The policy speaks to its own implementation by noting that the UCT community bear responsibility for ensuring that the framework of policies are implemented properly and are adhered to. The Senate Ethics Committees have the special responsibility to receive reports and queries and give advice relating to research involving human participants or animal use or biosafety. The Office of Research Integrity, or ORI, works collaboratively with these committees as well as with individual researchers to promote RCR and in particular to foster ethics and integrity in research. The policy and procedure documents which form the framework of policies may require revision to respond to changing circumstances and needs. The UCT community bears responsibility to bring deficiencies in these documents to the attention of the ORI. In this way, a sound, reflexive, and responsive approach to RCR can be assured. I bet you're wondering what resources are available to you as the UCT community. Ethical and responsible conduct of research is critical for excellence, as well as public trust in research, and this is more true now than it was in 2020 when the policy was initially approved. Education and training in the responsible conduct of research is essential in the preparation of academic, research staff, research ethics committee members, and postgraduate students. The UCT community are encouraged to participate in RCR training opportunities as early as possible in their research careers, and they should make efforts to refresh this training on an ongoing basis. UCT, through the Office of Research Integrity, will provide resources to develop and provide relevant RCR training. If you want to see the current online asynchronous training that is available, please visit the RE website using the address on screen. We also collaborate with our colleagues in the Emerging Researcher Program, or ERP, to offer blended, that is, synchronous and asynchronous, learning opportunities each semester. If you wish to contact us, please use the contact details provided on this screen. Our email address is research.integrity@uct.ac.za. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch this video. We really do appreciate your role in raising awareness of the institutional policy environment. If you want to contact us, our details are available on the previous slide or on the website that you're viewing this recording on.